Hey y'all, Chelsea and Danny here.
Enjoy this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube.
Today we're building another addition, this one to create a spectacular bathroom. Stay with us.
Today's Homeowner with Danny Lipford. Real projects for real homeowners with real solutions. Information and inspiration on improving your home from professional remodeler Danny Lipford.
Welcome to the show this week. Now, the owners of this home have lived here for many, many years, and they've had to put up with a very small master bathroom. Well, we're going to solve that for them by building a fairly small addition, only 7 feet by 20 feet, but it'll make a tremendous difference in their bathroom because basically we'll double the size of it. Also, we'll be adding on to their existing master closet and having to deal with several challenges, including how we're going to match some unusual roofing materials. But you'll see it all in this week's show. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show. Now, even though we're only adding 140 square feet, it's going to make a big difference in the overall layout of the new master bathroom. Now, before, our back wall of the house was right in here, and the homeowners had a master bathroom that was only 6 feet by 13 feet. Now, within that area, they had a fairly large vanity, a tub and shower unit, and also the toilet, of course. Now with a new layout, we're able to still use the same door from the master bedroom into the new area. And next to it, we'll have a really nice large shower. Next to that, a water closet that'll have the toilet. Then over on this side, we'll have a his and her vanity, one on this side and one right over here. Now, Mark's in the process now of laying out the tub cradle for the large tub that'll be positioned here, and then later on the area that we've been walking through will be closed off to create a nice window up above the tub. Should really look nice. Now, at this point in the project where we're framing and trying to get ready for our drywall to be installed, there's a lot of things that I can show you that I won't be able to show you once the walls are closed in. One of those is our pocket door frame. Now, pocket doors are great in a situation like this where you're trying to protect the swing of a door because it'll take up so much room. This way, the pocket door itself will slide right in between the framing that you see here. Now, basically, the entire weight in this area is being supported by our header that we have up above, and then studs, we'll call pack studs, right beside it. Then the framework fits underneath. We have all of our tracking and hardware in place, and then when they're starting to trim this project out, we put the door in, put all of that in place, and it should work fine. We just have to remember to tell our drywall hangers not to put any screws or nails too deeply here to where it can get in the way of our void. Now, another thing that has to happen nowadays with a lot of code changes are tie downs like we have here. Now, this corner tie down actually consists of a steel brace and a number of washers and the bolt here that actually goes down into the concrete about 12 inches. And all this ties together to really hold the wall down in the event of high winds. Also, we have a number of other anchors that go along here, as well as you'll see a few straps that hook under the green plate, which is a pressure treated wood, wraps up around to catch the studs. With all of this tying it together, it'll certainly stand up to some pretty heavy winds. And we also have to strap other areas that you will see, such as our ceiling joist that come right in there, and our roof rafters are all tied to the top plate. So all of this works together to really create a lot of strength. Now, in order to create a larger feel to this bathroom, we've also gone with a vaulted ceiling. Many people call this a studio vault that goes from one side and vaults up to create a taller wall on this side, so it really is a good effect. Another thing you'll see is all of the bridging that we have here to create a fur down, and actually on this side, the little box you see will cap off a linen closet that'll go down later once we put all of our cabinetry in. So we're really moving along on the inside here, a little more plumbing, a little more electrical, and we'll be able to call that drywall contractor over to finish the inside walls. Now outside, we have quite a challenge in matching the existing wood siding. There's two things that we can do to this addition that'll really make it blend in to the existing house. One of those things, make sure the siding matches exactly. Now this is a wood siding, it's a 1x10, a full 3/4 inch thick. And by taking a few of the pieces off, we determined it's either a good quality pine or possibly cypress. We'll be using a pine to match in the corner and all the horizontal lines to carry it right around the house. Once it's painted, that'll really look nice. The second challenge is to match our roofing. Now our roofing, we were able to remove a lot of the pieces. You can see how we've kind of stockpiled a number of pieces up on this older part of the roof, and we have enough of the old material to tie back in to the existing addition and take care of the front part of the roof. But we'll need the new material for all of the rear part of the roof. And our roofer is still looking for that material, so hopefully that won't be a problem on this project. We'll be moving along on this project, but next, our simple solution of the week.
Get ready to review your fix-it list as Danny and home repair expert Joe Trowini show you this week's simple solution. Brought to you by DuPont Tyvek. Build it once, build it right.
Joe always has some great paint tips. Here's a couple more.
Well, the first one, Danny, has to do with cleaning up. After you get through painting with a brush, what you can do is take some hardware cloth, like I have here, this is just 1/4 inch cloth, and cut out a square that'll fit inside the can that you're using for cleaning. Then bend the edges of the screen so it forms 2 little legs. And when you set it into the can of solvent or water, it stays up above the bottom.
Okay.
Now, when you go to clean your brush, you can scrub it against the hardware cloth to get out the paint.
Yeah, that's a lot easier than reaching over in there and having to use your hand.
Fingers, right, and that actually works pretty well. Now, the next tip has to do with when you're painting from an old can of paint. This one's about a year old and it's only half filled. And what happens is there's always little dried paint chips that get in there and you don't want to get them on the wall. So what I found is you can use a piece of window screen to filter out the chips.
Instead of actually pouring it in through a filter.
Right, well that works if you're going to be painting, using all the paint, but if you're just touching up with a brush, this works a lot better.
Okay.
Take a window screen and sit the can on it and trace around it and then cut just inside the line with a pair of scissors. Then set the screen inside the can, and you can use a stick just to press down. And what will eventually happen is the screen will settle to the bottom, filtering out all the paint chips, and the paint on the top will be nice and clean.
Welcome back to the show. Now, over the last few days, we've been able to get a lot of the exterior wood siding installed. You can see the guys are in the process of doing just a little bit of face nailing to really tighten up the siding. Most of the time on this, we've used a pneumatic nailer to install the siding, but just a little face nailing will really help ensure we have a good job on it. Now, one of the things that took a little while on the way this was installed are the way we handled the corners. Now we had to overlap it and cut it an angle here to tie these together. We did this in order to match the way the original house was put together. Now, more modern ways of doing this is to have a corner board that goes down on each side, and then you have square cuts of siding tying into it, but we wanted to make sure this matched the existing. Now also, throughout the process, all the nails have been recessed so that when the painter's out on the job, he can put his putty right into the nail holes to cover all that up. Then he'll be able to apply 1 coat of primer and 2 coats of top coating to really seal this wood siding up, which is a very important aspect of the outside of the project. Another very important part of it is what Mark's involved in now, is putting the proper flashing over each of the window openings. Now Mark, I noticed on the eave metal we've used copper there, but here switched to galvanized. Why the change?
Well, the copper up there is going to be unpainted, and this piece here is going to be painted. So there's no need in going through that expense.
A little more reasonable in cost, but still does the job, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And after he gets all of this installed, then our siding can be notched right around, and they can go ahead and complete all of the siding, and we can turn that painter loose. Now, over the last week, we've also been able to complete all of the roofing on the addition and where it ties in back to the house. Now, we were concerned about finding the material that we've used here, which is fiber cement shingles. But earlier, we talked with Doug Morris, and that wasn't a problem at all. Well, Doug, this really turned out nice. Looks great. Now, I understand you got really lucky in finding the amount of roofing materials that you needed to finish up the job.
Yes, we were real lucky. When they put the original roof on the house, they had enough shingles left over when they ordered them that we was able to do the back side, and then to match the front, what we did, we saved some of the shingles that were on the back before the building was added onto, to to put on the front. That way it all matched out.
Yeah, that makes a big difference so that there's no shading difference from old and new here on the most visible part of it. That worked out real well. Now, as far as taking the shingles off, I know that took a little while and getting all of the old material off, but as far as installing the material, a little bit different than regular shingles.
Yes, it takes a little bit longer to install them. Plus you have to, on these shingles here, they run like a cedar shake. You have to put a run of 30-pound felt up underneath the shingles in between every lap. And then also after that, instead of using the galvanized nails, we use the copper nails. And the reason that we use the copper nails is so that they would last the life of the roof.
Okay, because galvanized could possibly break down over a period of time and
That's correct.
some rust streaks and that kind of thing. So now I also noticed during the course of installing the roofing, you use some type of flashing right on the ridge, because I understand it's a little difficult to make that watertight with this kind of material.
That's true. What we did, we used an 032 metal cap. And when you put the metal cap down and then you come back with the ridge on top of it, then once the ridge is on top of it, you have the cap that secures everything.
Okay, all right. Well, like I say, you got awfully lucky in finding these shingles, but if you had to buy them, what kind of cost figure would you have per square for material like this?
For materials like this here, they would have been hard to find because not everybody covers them. They're a specialty item. But we found out that they would run a little bit better than $300 a square.
Boy, you could almost buy actual authentic slate for that much.
That's true. That is true.
And that compares with around $20 to $25 for conventional asphalt shingles, to give you some kind of comparison. But Doug, you did a great job. It really turned out nice.
With all of the roofing completed and the siding to be completed today, we can really focus on taking care of all of our loose ends on the interior of the addition. Now, when we come back after our best new product of the week, we'll look at some of the progress inside and show you several other bathrooms and what some of the possible options are for custom showers. May give you some great ideas. Stay with us.
Now let's join Danny at the Home Center to check out the best new products. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
Many of the products that we feature each week on our Best New Products segment are actual refinements of products that have been around for many years. And that's the case this week with the Campbell Hausfeld rechargeable cordless inflator. Now, most people are familiar with the little small compressors that you plug into your cigarette lighter so that you can fill up a flat tire or a low tire. Well, now this one's a little bit different in that it actually is a battery pack within the inflator or air compressor itself. Now, if you're out camping or you need to recharge your cell phone, you can plug right into this, and it's an actual power source for 12 volts. Now, to charge the unit up itself, you can charge it up using either the cigarette lighter in your car, it's all contained right here, or you can actually plug it right in to your house current in order to charge everything back up. Now, to see what type of level your battery is in terms of the charge, you can see right here on the indicator, we now have a high charge, which is good. And then when you're ready to inflate that tire, you can turn it right around. This pops off, and there's your hose to take care of that. And to give you an idea of how much air you're putting in it, of course, a gauge right on top. Now, on the inside housing of this particular compartment has several inflators that you'll use for a variety of different jobs like that. Now, the good thing about it, it only costs $39. Welcome back to the show, and welcome back to this job that's really moving along great. Now, the walk-in closet area that the homeowners wanted so badly is really completely finished, other than the flooring that'll be going down soon. They've decided just to use some carpet that would match the existing master bedroom as close as possible. Now, one contractor that's been real busy out on the job is our ceramic tile installer. They've installed our floor, which is a 20 by 20 size, and also wrapped around our tub cradle area with 12-inch by 12-inch material that matches that. So plumber will be ready any day now to install the tub, hook all of that up. Also, our cabinet man will be in with our new cabinets that'll wrap here and here for the double bowl vanity. Then our granite contractor will have to do his measuring and fabrication in order to put in all of our countertops. Now, ceramic tile man has been busy because of all of the work involved in this large shower. These wall-mounted tiles are installed much like the ones on the floor, except that the adhesive is mixed a bit thicker to support the tiles. Rubber spacers are used to prevent the tiles from sliding down before the adhesive sets, and there's a lot of careful measuring for details like the soap and shampoo recess. More and more homeowners are asking for showers customized to their needs. Things like wide open access, built-in seats, and handheld shower wands are ideal for elderly people or those with physical limitations. Body sprays or jetted showers are so popular that one manufacturer has created an affordable jetted system that can be retrofitted to existing showers without increasing the supply or drain line capacity. The EXO system even allows the addition of another outlet, like a shower wand, to the regular shower head and the jet unit. Now, for the full spa experience at home, your shower can even be outfitted with a steam generator if it's properly enclosed. These homeowners are really anxious to move into their new bathroom and have already started putting some of their towels in their new linen cabinet. Now, our cabinet maker was out just a couple days ago to install the vanity and the overhead cabinets. And, you know, after all these years of the trend being with painted bathroom cabinets, kind of nice to see the trend going back towards traditional stained cabinets, because these cabinets really look great. The storage, plentiful, with wall cabinets up above here with fairly deep storage, and nice little frosted glass accent cabinets here on either side of what will be one of the sinks, and the other sink being over here. Now, the granite will be installed in just a day or so, and the homeowner selected one that really does blend in nicely to not only the floor tiles, but all of the nice wood cabinetry around it. Now, outside, we poured a patio that we mentioned earlier in the show and a sidewalk that connects it to a section of driveway that had to be replaced, and all that'll be wrapped up today. And the rest of this work will be wrapped up in the next couple days, and when we come back, we'll show you where we started on this project and where it all ends up.
Now let's go outside for Around the Yard with Danny and lawn and garden expert Tricia Craven-Worley. Brought to you by TimberTech Composite Decking. Less work, more life.
You staking that tree again, Danny?
Yeah, it seems like every year the rope just won't hold up. It keeps breaking on me, and I'm trying to keep it from falling down the slope here.
Well, you know what? It's a good idea that you're trying to stake it up, but I don't think being on the slope has anything to do with it.
Well, what could possibly be making it lean so far so much?
Look up, Danny. Look at this big, gorgeous oak tree here. Now, I know this oak tree is not on your property, but it is what's causing this tree to go in this direction.
How's that? I don't get it.
Well, the oak tree is creating shade as we're in right now, and this poor little tree is reaching out there to try to get as much light as it can so it can grow. And even look at the back side of this tree. There is not one limb coming out in this direction.
So I guess also the limbs going in that direction, just the pure weight of it can cause it to lean a good bit.
Oh, it can. And you know, in my own yard in California, I have an avocado tree next to a persimmon tree. And the avocado tree is about 50 years old, which is pretty old. But I decided I want a persimmon tree. So I planted one on flat ground. And wouldn't you know, I have a very similar situation where the persimmon tree only has growth on half of it. And it's leaning a little bit.
Well, how could I avoid something like this then?
Well, the first thing you can do to avoid is proper planning, and that is when you come into a yard, look up, see how big the canopy is, and if the tree isn't fully mature yet, try to project how big it's going to be and make sure that you plant whatever tree that you want beyond that canopy so it's going to be able to reach up for the light.
Guess that makes sense.
What a difference. I think the homeowners are going to be very happy with their new master bathroom. The bathroom we started with was far too small for the elegant retreat the homeowners had in mind. Now, even with the large tub and spacious shower, there's still plenty of space. I really like how the floor tiles match those around the tub and shower area. Now, our cabinet maker did a wonderful job on our custom cabinets, and the granite really helps to add that upscale look to the room. Now, before, the homeowners just didn't have enough closet space. That's not a problem anymore with their new cedar-lined closet. On the exterior, it's impossible to see where the old meets the new with the matching siding, paint, and roof. And the small patio really ties the space together nicely. Well, I'm Danny. We'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to comment, like, and hit the bell icon so that we can notify you when new videos are posted.
And don't go anywhere, click around and continue the home improving fun.